Lifting can happen for many different reasons, but one commonly overlooked cause is choosing the wrong gel for short, natural nails. Let me show you why. As you can see, I have a collection of builder gels, rubber bases, and liquid builders from different brands and in different shades. We're going to test them together and find out which ones are the best match for natural nails, especially shorter lengths. There's also a common misconception I hear a lot in the nail industry. Many nail techs believe that rubber bases and liquid builders are specifically made for short, natural nails, but that's not actually how it works. The most important factor is choosing a gel that can adapt to how the natural HL nail moves and changes over the next 3 to 4 weeks. I'm sure some questions are already coming to mind. For example, why do we need to test gels? Can't we just look at a product and know how it will perform? With this simple test, I'll show you why the answer is no. For example, these two gels are exactly the same product. One has been kept at room temperature, which is the current summer temperature where I'm filming, and the other has been placed on ice to simulate colder winter conditions. As you can see, their appearance has completely changed. This one has become much thicker and could easily look like a stronger, more rigid gel, while the other one appears much more fluid. Now you might think, okay, but can't we just choose based on the product label? But after checking all of my products, I found that the labels usually don't provide the information we actually need, like how a gel will behave on a natural nail or how it will adapt over time. And the first and most important thing a nail tech should do before starting any service, whether it's extensions, a gel overlay, dual forms, or any other technique, is analyze the client's natural nails in the shortest amount of time possible. You need to identify the nail's natural growth pattern and understand which category it falls into. For example, this nail is around 5 millimeters long, so it's not considered short. When we look at it from the side, we can clearly see a strong C-curve and the free edge is growing downward. From the top view, the tip has started to curve inward as the nail has grown. And even from the front, the deep C-curve is very noticeable. Now look at the same nail after I've shortened it completely. The characteristics that helped us analyze its shape are no longer as visible. Yes, you can still see some curvature from the side, but from the top and front views, it's much harder to accurately determine its natural growth pattern compared to when the nail had more length. And this is exactly the challenge with short nails. They don't give us enough information about how they will continue to grow and change over time. Now let's start testing the gels together for this test. We'll use a piece of parchment paper because the cured gel can be easily removed from the surface afterward. Take a small amount of each gel. You don't need a lot, just imagine you're applying it on a short, natural nail. This amount is enough for the test. Apply the gel to the paper so the sidewalls and the free edge have the least amount of product, just like they would on a real nail. Try to recreate the application as realistically as possible, then cure each sample in the lamp for 60 seconds. I've already prepared the rest of the builder gels using the same method. Now I'm going to test the rubber base using the exact same process, because the amount and application method need to stay consistent for a fair comparison. Let's start with the first gel. I'm placing it between my fingers and applying pressure from the sides. As you can see, I'm trying to bend it, but even with a significant amount of force, it barely flexes at all. This gel is extremely rigid and has very little flexibility. I'm testing the second gel using the exact same method. As you can see, this one is actually bending. You can see the gel changing shape, and even after bending it, it holds that new position. This gel has flexibility, which means it can adapt to movement rather than staying completely rigid. Now, look at this one. You can see that it does bend slightly, but as soon as I apply a little more pressure, it breaks. This gel has some flexibility, but not enough to maintain its shape when it bends. Now let's move on to the rubber bases. The test is exactly the same as it was for the builder gels. Look at how this one reacts. No matter how much pressure I apply, it doesn't bend or change shape at all. This rubber base has virtually no flexibility. This one behaves a little differently. As I apply pressure, it does start to bend, but it strongly resists changing shape and quickly springs back to its original position. Compared to the previous rubber base, it has a little more flexibility, but I still wouldn't consider it a truly flexible gel. This one is completely different. It's actually a soft gel. As you can see, it's extremely soft and flexible. Even though it's sold as a rubber base, it doesn't provide enough strength or support for the natural nail. It behaves much more like a gel polish. Building an apex with a gel like this is difficult, and I wouldn't use it as my main structural product. And finally, the last gel. This is a liquid builder, also known as BIAB. As you can see, it has excellent flexibility while still maintaining its shape, making it one of the best choices for natural nails. To wrap things up, if I had to rank these, my first choice would be the liquid builder. My second choice would be this builder gel, which offers a great balance of strength and flexibility. And if I had to choose a rubber base, this would be my top pick. The right gel isn't determined by whether the label says builder gel or rubber base, it's determined by how that gel actually behaves. The more you understand your products before using them, the more confidently you'll be able to choose the right gel for every natural nail.